We're going to delete this layer using the ArcGIS API for Python. So let's check it out. Up top, we are importing the GIS class, which will allow us to access our ArcGIS Online organization and the content. We are importing the feature layer class so we can access a feature layer object, which will help us get the definition for that feature layer and then be able to delete it through the feature layer collection object. The feature layer collection object represents a feature service in ArcGIS Online. We first access ArcGIS Online. We are accessing our ArcGIS Online through that GIS class. We have two user inputs. First is the item ID that represents the feature service, and we'll assign that to a variable called feature service item ID. Next is the index of the layer to delete. This is 0 if there's only one layer or it is the first layer. So the topmost layer in your feature service is index 0, and then as you move down it increments by 1. So the layer I'm interested in deleting will be at index 2, and I'll show you that in a moment when I head over to ArcGIS Online. We first get the feature service as an item object. Here we are using the content manager get method and supplying in our feature service item ID. The get method returns what's known as an item object that represents an item of content in ArcGIS Online. We'll assign this to a variable called feature service item. Now we want to create a feature layer object for the layer that we wish to delete. So we're using the feature layer class and the from item method, where we're setting the item to be our feature service item object and the layer ID to be our layer index. We will now have a feature layer object which we'll assign to a variable called FL for feature layer. Now we could use list comprehension and a feature layer name to pinpoint the exact feature layer we want to delete. So for each layer in our feature service item layers list, if the layer's name is equal to our feature layer name, then return that feature layer. And list comprehension will always return a list, so we'd only be interested in the first element of that list. Either way, you would have a feature layer object. Now we want to delete that feature layer from the feature service. The feature layer object has a property called properties that defines the properties of that feature layer. We're going to convert the feature layer properties to a dictionary. The properties for a feature layer is JSON, and we're going to convert that to a Python dictionary. We'll assign that to a variable called feature layer properties. Now we create our feature layer collection object, which represents feature service. We're using the feature layer collection class here and the from item method and supplying in the feature service item. We will now have what's known as a feature layer collection object, which we'll assign to a variable called FLC for feature layer collection. We're going to access our feature layer collection object and the feature layer collection manager object, which will provide access to the delete from definition method. We want to delete that layer definition from our feature layer collection. Our feature layer collection has a property called layers that contains a list of our feature layers that are present in that feature service. We simply supply in our feature layer properties dictionary inside a list, and this will enable us to delete that feature layer. Now be very, very careful when deleting feature layers. Once it's deleted, it is gone. It will not be sent to a recycle bin and you will not be able to retrieve it. It will disappear into the ether. So I highly advise to make a backup before you delete anything. I'm going to pop on over to ArcGIS Online first before I run the script. Here I have my feature service item in ArcGIS Online. I have 4 layers within this feature service and I want to delete one of them. I want to delete this one here. In the example, I'm using a layer index. As mentioned, 0 is the top layer. Then we have 1, 2, and 3. So I am looking to delete at index 2. Now before I turn to the script, I need to grab the item ID. It used to be over on the right hand side, but you can just as easy grab it from the URL. So I'm going to copy the ID from the URL and I'm going to head back to the script, scroll up and paste in the item ID, and now I'm going to click run. Script is complete. I'm going to head back over to ArcGIS Online and check out the result. You can see here, this is the feature layer that I want to delete. I'm going to refresh this page. And we can see that I'm now down to 3 layers and that the layer that we wish to delete has been removed. And that is how you can use the ArcGIS API for Python to delete a feature layer in ArcGIS Online. Just remember, always be careful when you're deleting feature layers. Once they're deleted, they are gone. I highly recommend that you check out this playlist up here that has a lot more videos relating to the ArcGIS API for Python to enhance and automate your workflows. Take care.